Stage 4 of El Viento is my favorite stage. The reasons why should be made clear immediately as we jump on our dolphin buddy, as we ride him to victory, blowing up every enemy on our path, creating huge pixely explosions as they try to drop bombs on us, creating huge pixely splashes of water in the ocean. What more could we ask for? How about big pixely Cthulhus? No, you're not hallucinating. This is really happening. They took a 50 by 50 image of Cthulhu and they blew him up because it's technology. But they go down pretty easily on its sheer wrath, and that ends the first part of Stage 4. As the next part of the stage begins, we pick up a new magic spell, third one in the game. It's kind of a wave beamy kind of spell, and I'll show it off a little bit later in the stage. Right now, I'd just like to mention that it wasn't so much the big pixely explosions, the dolphin, or the big pixely Cthulhus that got me digging Stage 4 so much. Here's the wave spell right here. Yeah, that's pretty much what it does. It kind of sort of penetrates walls, except not really, and it's a little bit hard to describe. Despite it only sort of penetrating walls, it's a pretty useful spell, and you'll see me using it a bit. It's just very powerful is what it is. Getting back to why I like the stage so much, it's not so much because of the dolphin, but because of this part of the stage. This is a rather large second part of the stage. It takes place entirely on a huge 2D map, and the 2D map reminds me a lot of the kind of maps I would draw when I was a kid, when I wanted to design my own video games. As you can see, I escaped the wrath of those falling boulders, but I have to go back and destroy them because I get 1,000 experience points per boulder, per spiky boulder, and I'm not going to give that up. They may take a long time, they may be kind of tedious, but I gotta get those points. So probably no one in Al Capone's estate could have had anyone from Wolf Team whacked or anything like that. And in fact, it's highly doubtful any of them ever knew this game ever existed, right? So why they decided to take Al Capone out of the game, I'm not too sure. If I were to venture a guess, it'd be that the American branch of Wolf Team just realized that Al Capone is an asshole, and they just didn't want him represented in the game at all for the English release. Who knows? In this part of the stage, Onnit's got to use her dash move to glide across some spike traps here. It's one of the uses of the dash move we don't get to see too often in the game, and I've actually got to do it again right up ahead here. These pits up here, you don't want to fall down them at all. They're not insta-death or anything, but you pay a pretty high price if you do fall down. Since it's too low to jump, you use the dash move to get across, and there you are. It's actually quite a bit of strategy you've got to use in this stage. I'd say that like 99% of the strategy used in El Viento is used in this stage. As much as the design reminds me of the sort of maps I'd draw as a kid, they obviously didn't get an 8-year-old to design this stage. It's pretty tight, for the most part. Coming up to another cool part of the stage, actually. Fighting through some fuses here, and jumping through some explosions. Like that, yeah. Yeah! Like an action movie star. Yeah, it's things like that, really. Kind of an odd stage design choice like that reminds me of those maps I'd make as a kid. I'm sure that many of you watching this LP have done the same, right? Just sat in your room with graph paper, making out these gigantic 2D maps full of spikes and traps and stuff, just like this. And seeing it just kind of makes me feeling vicariously like I'm living my dream. This is another kind of odd thing in its stage. Only this stage has these little pods. They heal you. It's kind of hard to tell because I have full life already, but if you use a bit of strategy to get to these pods, you could get a little bit healed up to help you up with the upcoming boss. Another rather odd part of the stage coming up. Yeah, you just kind of gotta jump through a big blob to get through the last part of the stage, and it's hard to tell, but I did have to actually use a bit of strategy there to make sure I didn't end up replaying the last bit of the stage over and over. One last puzzle to destroy one last explosive barrel thingy, and we're at the boss. The boss is, I don't know if it's a Cthulhu reference at all, Lovecraft reference. It's just a big ball of kind of nerves, I guess. I don't know. Looks like a pine cone, really. And defeating it sends like a kind of a brain impulse electric shock thing. You're supposed to dash away like that after you hit it. So I start doing that toward the end, yeah. And it's a pretty easy boss, as you can see. It's just very powerful, so you don't want to get hit by it, but it's very easy to avoid. And that's the end of Stage 4. Great stage. Vincent DeMarco, break off from Hoster's group immediately! Your breasts are tenacious on it, so I will cover them up with my huge face. I don't want to hear that. Do you really intend to resurrect Hoster? Well, I don't know. I can't believe that you'd want to do such a thing as the head boss man of the Mafia. You don't seem to be capable of understanding how dangerous it is. For my sake, please put a stop to the scheme. You're being trapped. Okay, I'll do what you say if you can succeed in passing through the temples in the canyon. Canyon? You mean the Grand Canyon? That's right. Do it now. Keep my word. Alright, I'm sure that I'll pass through it.